Welcome to the What's New in Amazon S3 session. I'm Robbie Wright. I've been part of the storage team at AWS for about 4 years, and I'm excited to spend some time talking with you today. Before we kick off the deep dive sessions on data lakes and file and block and hybrid, I wanted to recognize 11.9's day with 11 minutes on recent Amazon S3 feature launches that we've designed to help you save on storage costs and increase your data protection plans and meet your compliance needs. We picked November 9th, or 11.9 as we write it here in the US, for Storage Day, partly because Amazon S3 has unmatched availability and durability. It's designed for 11.9s of durability, and that has to do with our multi-AZ architecture within each AWS region, where we'll take your data and we'll store it in multiple data centers and in at least 3 availability zones. Each of those AZs is a standalone data center or a cluster of data centers on a single site, and they're typically a few miles apart to isolate them from local failures like fires, floods, or power failure. And they're never more than 100 miles apart, so we can retain high performance for S3 even when we're protecting that data by writing it across each AZ in an AWS region. This is very different from other cloud providers who will call a single data center a full region. For example, if you store 10 million objects with Amazon S3, you can expect to, on average, to incur a loss of a single object every 10,000 years. So let's go ahead and let's start. Let's jump in here, and we're going to move pretty quickly through some of these launches. Some of these you will have seen very recently, and others were just launched yesterday, and you'll be hearing about them today throughout the day. So first of all, you can now validate the correct bucket owner using Amazon S3 Bucket Owner Condition. Bucket Owner Condition helps you easily verify that S3 buckets that you interact with are owned by the expected AWS accounts. When Bucket Owner Condition is used, S3 API requests will only succeed if the bucket owner matches the account specified. This helps to prevent accidental interaction with buckets owned by unexpected AWS accounts. For example, when a similar naming convention is used for buckets, but the owners are totally different. Similar to Bucket Owner Condition is S3 Object Ownership. Amazon S3 Object Ownership launched as a preview on October 2nd, and now it's generally available with the addition of support for CloudFormation. With S3 Object Ownership, bucket owners can now automatically assume ownership of objects uploaded to their buckets. By default, an S3 object is owned by the AWS account that uploaded the object. S3 Object Ownership gives you a simple bucket setting that changes this default behavior so that new objects uploaded with the bucket owner full control access control list, or ACL, will instead be owned by you. The ownership change happens automatically without you taking any further action. We've heard from a lot of customers that they have data residency requirements, or they have applications on premises that need to be processed quickly before moving data to AWS. That's why we launched Amazon S3 on AWS Outposts. So you can store object data on premises using the S3 APIs. Using the S3 APIs and features, S3 on Outposts makes it easy to store, secure, tag, retrieve, report on, and control access to the data on your outpost. S3 on Outposts provides a new Amazon S3 storage class named S3 Outposts, which uses the same S3 APIs, and it's designed to store data durably across multiple devices and servers on your AWS Outpost. AWS Data Sync, a service that makes it easy to move data between your outposts on premises and S3 in an AWS region, supports S3 on Outposts, so you can automate transferring your data between your outposts and AWS regions, choosing what to transfer, when to transfer, and how much network bandwidth to use. To start using S3 on Outposts, you can order an Outpost configuration that includes your desired S3 storage capacity, or you can add S3 storage to an existing Outpost by working with your AWS account team. Okay, let's talk about two more launches for S3 replication. S3 replication is our elastic, fully managed, low-cost feature that replicates objects between buckets. Today, we'll review the major features of S3 replication, including S3 same region replication, or S3 SRR, S3 cross-region replication, or S3 CRR, and S3 replication time control, or S3 RTC. S3 replication gives you several options. For example, you can replicate within the same AWS region with S3 SRR, or to different regions with S3 CRR. You can replicate data across different AWS accounts, or you can replicate between buckets with different object lock retention controls. And if you need predictable replication backed by an SLA, S3 replication time control lets you replicate objects within 15 minutes of upload. Previously, replication metrics and notifications to monitor the status of replication between buckets was only available if you had turned on S3 replication time control. But now, S3 replication metrics and notifications are available for all replication rules. You can monitor replication progress by tracking bytes pending, operations pending, and replication latency between your source and destination buckets using the S3 Management Console or Amazon CloudWatch. You can also set up S3 event notifications to receive replication failure notifications to quickly diagnose and correct configuration issues. When creating a replication rule, you'll have an option to enable S3 replication metrics and notifications for each replication rule. So one more feature I'd like to cover with S3 replication that we've recently launched. Previously, whenever you used S3 replication with S3 versioning, and you deleted an object, as anyone who uses versioning knows, when you delete an object that's versioned, it just places a delete marker in its place and continues to store older versions of that object. However, whenever you replicated that data, those delete markers were not replicated. Now we've changed that and made delete marker replication part of the S3 replication solution. So by enabling delete marker replication, you can replicate user deletes in your source bucket to your destination bucket, and you'll have a fully consistent group of data in the secondary region or secondary location. Now let's talk about S3 Intelligent Tiering. S3 Intelligent Tiering is designed for customers who want to optimize storage costs automatically when data access patterns change. Customers save up to 40% using S3 Intelligent Tiering, and we've heard that they love that there is no management required, no analysis required, no retrieval fees, and the savings are automated for them. When it was launched, S3 Intelligent Tiering had two access tiers, a frequent access tier and an infrequent access tier. Now we've added two new archival access tiers. Archive access with the same performance and cost as S3 Glacier, and deep archive access with the same performance and cost as S3 Glacier Deep Archive. These new S3 Intelligent Tiering archive access tiers will help you save up to 90% on your storage costs for objects that are not accessed for long periods of time. S3 Intelligent Tiering is the only cloud storage that provides high throughput millisecond performance for frequently accessed data and the lowest storage costs in the cloud for archival data. So that was a lot to digest in a short 11 minutes. Throughout the day today, we'll go into more detail on how you can use these new S3 features to save on storage costs and increase your data protection. You'll also hear about launches across the entire AWS. If you get a ton out of the second annual AWS Storage Day.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us today on how to manage, analyze, and reduce your storage costs. My name is Jesse Felix, a Senior Product Manager here on Amazon S3. Today, we see customers of all sizes across every industry vertical migrating every imaginable workload to Amazon S3. These workloads span from data lakes, DNA sequencing, customer call center data, and autonomous vehicle data, just to name a few. And the reason for that is that Amazon S3 provides industry-leading performance, scalability, availability, and durability. We have customers storing exabytes of data and trillions of objects around the globe. Easy-to-use management features to easily manage all of that data. S3 is the only cloud storage that lets you manage data at the account, bucket, and object level, make changes across tens of billions of objects with a few clicks, configure granular data access policies, save costs by storing objects across numerous storage classes, and audit all activities across your S3 resources. The focus today is optimizing cost on S3, so let's talk more about that. When we think about optimizing your cost on S3, we like to think about it in terms of 4 pillars. Application requirements. As mentioned earlier, we have thousands of workloads spanning every industry vertical, and I can guarantee you that each of those has different application requirements. Understanding what your specific requirements are is key to optimizing costs. And you are the best person to understanding what these are. The second pillar is data organization. Within an organization, we expect to see diverse data sets spanning different departments and even projects. We have seen that it can be very powerful to organize your data from the beginning if you want to effectively optimize your storage cost. The third pillar, analyzing and optimizing your storage based on how your workload behaves over time. We expect to see a wide diversity of data sets across your organization accessed at different rates. This understanding of your data is a foundation to our fourth pillar, which we call continuous right-sizing. And when I say right-sizing, what I'm really talking about is choosing the right storage class for the data sets which you organized and setting up the right policies that fit your application requirements. As we said, the first step to optimizing your storage cost is to really understand your application requirements. Let me illustrate a few examples. Let's say that you have a media archive that is accessed by users. In this case, high availability and performance is really key. Alternatively, let's say that you have a machine learning workload where historical data sets don't need to be accessed immediately anymore. Or say you're storing secondary backups that can also be stored in a single availability zone. No one knows your applications as well as you do, and so you are the person who defines what these requirements are. Key questions to ask yourself are, what durability and redundancy do you want? What availability is right for your use case? How often do you access your storage? What performance do you need? Millisecond latency? How big or small are your objects? And how long do you intend on storing them on S3? Once we define our application requirements, you want to organize your data in a way that makes sense for the business units, applications, and users accessing these data sets. And the first step to doing this is creating buckets, which are Amazon S3 resources, to upload data across different business units within your account. And to further organize your data by projects, teams, within a business unit, you can use key name prefixes, which are names in front of your Amazon S3 bucket. This infers a folder structure to help keep things. On top of that, you can also use object tags, which are key value pairs that help you further categorize your objects across internal use cases by associating up to 10 tags with an object. Once we organize our data the right way, fine-grain access controls and permissions across different departments, teams, and users, apply lifecycle management rules to transition or expire data for specific prefixes or object tag-based filters, or monitor CloudWatch metrics by specific tag filters that are impacting a department, team, user, or a set of users that are seeing changes in their application performance. We strongly recommend that you organize your data from day one to help us in our next step, which is understanding, analyzing, and optimizing your storage. As you use Amazon S3 to manage large shared data sets such as data lakes, it becomes more and more important to be able to access complete and up-to-date information about your storage in order to make decisions. You can use storage class analysis, which analyzes access patterns for a bucket or a prefix that you configure to get recommendations to move data from standard to standard infrequent access. And if you need object level analysis to see the replication or encryption status of your objects, you can use S3 inventory to get a list of all of your objects and their corresponding metadata on a daily or weekly basis for an S3 bucket or a prefix. Each of these features can help us right-size our applications. When we think about right-sizing, we think about it as a continual process where you combine known requirements for your application with the latest information from storage class analysis to make sure we are choosing the right storage class. This is important because choosing the right storage class that best fits your workload can help you reduce cost up to 95%. Let's look at different characteristics that you know best. You can choose the redundancy you need or want when storing your data, whether that be in 3 availability zones, which are designed to withstand the loss of a availability zone, or a single availability zone if you're storing recreatable data. And can even store your S3 data on premises using S3 on Outpost if you have residency requirements that cannot be met by an existing availability zone. You can also choose a storage class based on your availability needs and choose your ideal performance ranging from milliseconds to hours. You also want to consider how long you intend on keeping your data, hours, days, or years, because this will impact the storage class you choose based on different duration requirements. You can also leverage storage class analysis or inventory to help you understand and continually right-size based on access patterns and object size distributions of your datasets. Oftentimes, customers are okay making these decisions, but they do not want to trade off durability. It's important to note that all of our storage classes have 11 nines of durability, which means that for every 10 million objects, you can expect to lose one object once every 10,000 years on average. Since 2006, we have developed on behalf of our customers to make cloud storage more cost-effective and easier to manage. We have launched Glacier Deep Archive, which is the lowest cost cloud storage at $1 per terabyte, storing data across 3 availability zones and offering high resiliency and availability. And we don't just build the lowest cost storage. Take S3 Intelligent Tiering Storage class, which monitors your objects and automatically moves data between different storage access tiers based on how you access your data. And we're excited to announce that we added new archiving capabilities within S3 Intelligent Tiering because our customers asked us to combine the benefits of automatic cost optimization with the lowest storage cost in the cloud. We also launched Amazon S3 Outpost because customers asked us they wanted to use S3 on Outpost to satisfy demanding performance needs by keeping data close to on-premises applications. Amazon S3 has a number of storage classes to choose from, whether you have demanding performance needs, data residency requirements, unknown access patterns, infrequent access data, or archival needs. S3 has a storage class that is optimized for your data access, durability, and cost needs. If you know that your data is active and frequently accessed and may be deleted within a month, S3 Standard is the best choice, designed for 4 nines of availability and millisecond latency, and protection against a single availability zone loss. If you know all of your data is less frequently accessed and not deleted within a month, use S3 Standard infrequent access to save up to 40% cost compared to S3 Standard, but with a retrieval fee for accessing that data. You can also archive objects via lifecycle policies from any S3 storage classes into S3 Glacier at a 60% lower storage cost, or to Glacier Deep Archive at the lowest storage cost available, saving you up to 95%. For data that is reproducible and is less frequently accessed, you can use S3 One Zone IA, which stores data in a single availability zone at 20% lower storage cost than S3 Standard infrequent access. Amazon S3 on Outpost delivers object storage to your on-premises AWS Outpost environment to meet local data processing and data residency needs. And if you don't want to think about access patterns or have data with unknown or changing access patterns, let's say you're not sure or don't want to spend time and resources figuring out the data access patterns of your storage. In this case, you would use S3 intelligent tiering. And now, within intelligent tiering, you can choose to configure automatic archiving for subsets of data that may become rarely accessed. What this means is that you get to combine the benefits of automatic cost savings with the lowest storage cost in the cloud, saving you up to 95%. Let's take a closer look at S3 intelligent tiering. S3 intelligent tiering is the only storage class that automatically delivers cost savings by moving objects between 4 access tiers based on changing access patterns. It is designed for 11 nines of durability by storing objects across multiple availability zones and is one of our most popular storage classes for data lakes. It delivers millisecond latency and high throughput performance with a frequent access tier priced the same as S3 standard and an infrequent access tier priced the same as standard infrequent access for datasets with high performance requirements. And now, customers can also choose to activate automatic data archiving to get the lowest storage cost in the cloud when data is not accessed for long periods of time. Customers have the option to save even more on their storage costs by activating an archive access tier priced the same as S3 Glacier and a deep archive access tier priced the same as Glacier Deep Archive, designed for access within minutes and hours. In summary, S3 intelligent tiering can further optimize your storage costs when access patterns change without any analysis needed, any operational overhead, or any retrieval fees. So let's talk more about how it works. For a small monthly object monitoring and automation fee, S3 intelligent tiering monitors access patterns and automatically moves objects that have not been accessed for 30 consecutive days from the frequent access tier to the infrequent access tier. Objects stored in the frequent and infrequent access tier have millisecond access and high throughput performance. And what that means is that they are always available for immediate access when they are needed. And you can also activate one or both of the new archive access tiers for a bucket, a prefix, or an object tag. If you activate both archive access tiers, S3 intelligent tiering will automatically move objects from the infrequent access tier to the archive access tier in 60 days of no access, or a total of 90 consecutive days of no access, and move objects from the archive access tier to the deep archive access tier in 90 days of no access, or a total of 180 days of consecutive no access. If you have data sets that need millisecond access for longer, you can extend the time to archive for a total of 2 years. And anytime an object in the archive access tier or deep archive access tier is restored, the object is moved back to the frequently accessed tier in as little as a few hours. As mentioned earlier, there are no retrieval fees associated with S3 intelligent tiering. Let's take a pause and look at how S3 intelligent tiering fits into the two design patterns we see our customers adopting. On the one hand, customers with predictable workloads where the age of an object is associated with access frequency. And what that means is that the older an object gets, the less and less that it is accessed. For those customers, they can use our building blocks, which are our storage classes in combination with lifecycle policies to tier down and archive less frequently and rarely accessed data. Before automatic archiving with S3 intelligent tiering, customers would track access for objects for long periods of time before tiering data to Glacier and Glacier Deep Archive. And now, S3 intelligent tiering is optimized for every access pattern that we see from frequent, infrequent to archive access. And what that means is that customers previously trying to understand what objects to transition to Glacier and Glacier Deep Archive can now automatically do that within the S3 intelligent tiering storage class. If you have data sets that can be accessed within minutes to hours, it's really easy to activate one or both of the new archive access tiers. S3 intelligent tiering is one of our most popular storage classes for data lakes. And oftentimes, data lakes are used by many departments and people within an organization and have unpredictable access patterns. In particular, many customers have data scientists across their organizations developing machine learning models on top of these diverse data sets, and it's really hard to predict when the data will be needed. We have also seen that business intelligence and analytics workloads can have changing access patterns that are difficult to optimize for. The need for different data sets can change quickly due to an unforeseen event or seasonal changing patterns that make access more dynamic. And we have also seen many of our customers just don't want to optimize storage themselves, either because they would rather focus resources on their core business or just don't have the storage experience themselves. For example, for a company that spends $100,000 or less a year on storage, it's not really economical to hire somebody to optimize storage. Thank you for joining us today in talking about how to manage and optimize your storage cost. We're really excited about how you use all of the capabilities that we're launching.